Rev up your engines!
Well, the dollar has climbed after Donald Trump pledged he's going to put a tariff on all kinds of stuff, including Canadian and Mexican products. Who knows what's actually going to happen? The weird thing is everything is in flux now, and the markets have just gone bananas. So the U.S. dollar is higher now because he's saying, oh, we're going to put a tariff on it. It's just ridiculous, this gambling that goes on, how much money. People actually trade with currencies. They just bet on whether money's going up or down. It's crazy. It's like a giant gambling den. And, of course, the currency in the targeted countries fell. The Mexican peso, the Canadian dollar were both down, about 1% each. And the weird thing is, just the other day, yesterday, the investors liked the nomination of Scott Bessent as Treasury Secretary, and that made the dollar go down. But now he's talking about tariffs that went back up. It's like a yo-yo. As an analyst for Barclays, they know pretty good stuff about money, said, quote, the markets are in a total yo-yo for the time being. So will the tariffs help? Will they hurt? Who knows what's going to happen? We'll find out when he gets in, and then we'll see what's really going to happen. How are there going to be tariffs? How is it going to affect things? We won't know until then. So now, between now and then, it's going to be yo-yo land for the next month and a half. Well, there's warned people not to buy electric cars. Well, Hyundai's recalling almost every single one of their EV6s because they might stop running. Oh, great. This is phenomenal, right? It turns out manufacturing, software, whatever problems, electric cars, a lot of people don't know. They got a big old battery they run on, right? But they also have a little battery. In this case, it's a little 12-volt battery. And these things are screwing up so that the big battery doesn't charge the little battery correctly, and then it all stops working. Modern electric cars are high voltage. They might be 240, 400. Some of them are 800, 900 volts. But that's so much voltage it'd kill you if you touch the car. So those are all segregated in high voltage lines that are all secured amongst themselves so they don't touch the body. They don't make you get electrocuted when you touch the door handle, right? All of that stuff is done by the 12-volt battery system. It activates the 12-volt system, which then checks everything with computers. If your 12-volt battery goes out in an electric car, you know, it's a little baby one, it could die while you're going down the road. It could not start. Like I said, these things have not been perfected yet. Yet they're selling them to the public. They say that the integrated charging unit can be damaged and stop charging the 12-volt batteries. So it can cause your car to stop or start losing power in the middle of a journey without warning. Great. Just the thing you want with an electric car. It just stops. Right? People have enough worry about range anxiety. How far can I go with this electric battery? Now, with these pieces of junk Korean cars, almost every single one is recalled because it might just stop by itself. It's got electricity in the big battery, but not the little one. Whoever's designing these things, obviously they're poorly designed. And in the case of Korean cars, they're also poorly built. And the software's kind of crappy too. So, yeah, those three things together, you know what I say? Just don't buy the stupid things in the first place. Well, Toyota had a meeting. They said they're going to bring back the Celica. All right, now they don't have a date or even what it's going to be, but I guess they're having this big meeting, and Toyota's vice president in front of Akio Toyota said, yes, we're definitely going to bring the Celica back. It was at a public event in Japan. We haven't said when it would be released, but it could be next year. Now they're saying the 8th generation model might make an appearance as early as the 2025 Tokyo Auto Show. It could just be a concept car. They often put concept cars in those things, right? And now, I mean, I like the Celicas, but I do have to say, I don't know if it's going to mean much because it's just the name. Like Toyota Supra is just the name. The Toyota Supras that they're making now, they're not even Toyotas. They're made by BMW. They're BMW Roadsters, right? And just like their other little sports car, it's just a rebadged Subaru. It's not really a Toyota. It's made by Subaru. So I wouldn't get excited unless it's something that Toyota made themselves and it was along the same lines as the Celica. You stop making something for decades and then later you start making it. A lot of times all it has in common is a name. Just like Jeep with the Jeep Renegade. Jeep Renegade is a rebadged Fiat four-wheel drive vehicle. Now, it has nothing to do with Jeep, and it's a pile of junk. Names in this case often don't mean that much anymore. People just take them and they sell them so they can make a profit, and it has nothing to do with the original concept. And in this case, they're talking about it, but they don't even have a concept car out yet. So, hey, I'm not holding my breath on it. Knowing how they do these specialty cars, they'll probably be extremely overpriced too, you know? I mean, if you can get a really nice Celica for a 30 grand or so, which you can today, and then they'll be selling something they'll call a Celica on the 150 $70,000 for it. I think the whole thing is just plain stupid. Well, you know, people are saying, oh, got a diesel, get better gas mileage. Don't be fooled by a lot of the hype, because they aren't as good as you might think. Guy did a study. It's a 6.7 liter straight six, right? It's a great engine. They did a survey of real life, and in real life, they don't get the greatest gas mileage. One guy with 2018 Ram 2500 with the Cummins 6.7 liter diesel said, I got about 17 miles a gallon going 65 miles an hour. Not the greatest gas mileage, right? But it gets even worse. When towing a 10,000 pound trailer, a Ram Cummins pickup truck would typically get around 10 miles per gallon. Don't be fooled by this myth that these things get phenomenal gas mileage. They don't. They have a lot of power, torque. And the torque allows them to pull heavy weights. Because some of these Ram Cummins are rated to tow 20,000 pounds. And if you're getting 10 miles a gallon with 10,000 pounds, let me tell you, you're going to get 6 or 7 pulling 20,000 pounds. Don't think that, oh, God, I got this diesel, I'm going to get phenomenal gas mileage. If you want that, go get a Volkswagen Rabbit diesel, right? Or a Jetta diesel. They'll get great gas mileage because they're little bitty engines and little bitty cars that don't weigh much. But if you're looking at a truck, don't think, well, I'll get a diesel, I'll get phenomenal gas mileage. No, you won't, especially if you pull a lot of weight. They're just made for pulling things, and they're good for pulling things. They can pull the weight better than a gasoline engine. The gasoline engine will wear out faster from all the strain, where a diesel engine has better torque, and it will be able to pull it without having any problems. I've seen some of these Cummins engines, 300,000 miles, they've never been touched other than oil changes, and they still run good. But realize, gas mileage is not really their forte. Well, I was just reading about an investor who said, don't jump on the Rivian bandwagon and invest your money. And I agree with this guy 100%. We know Rivian just caught this $1 billion deal with Volkswagen, right? Well, Volkswagen's on shaky ground too. Kind of reminds me of the merger of Kmart and Sears. How did that work out? They're all disappearing, right? So, maybe not such a great idea, but a lot of people think, oh, look, Rivian stock's going up. Let's invest in this company, blah, blah, blah. This guy warned, think before you jump into the ocean of putting money into Rivian. For example, the last time I looked at Rivian, it was $10 and change a share. $10 and change a share. You know what their all-time high was? 3 years ago, it was $172.01. It tells you it's a crappy company, right? They just want to sucker people into investing in this stuff. And investing in something like an electric car company, boy, you're really asking for it now. There's a new administration coming in. If they dump that $7,500 tax credit, it's going to be even harder to sell electric cars. It's hard enough now. They got them. They can't get rid of them. It'll be even worse. They stop all that government subsidy of making charging stations. There's no infrastructure. It'll be even harder to sell electric cars. So I agree with this guy entirely. He says, don't jump on this bandwagon of, oh, the band's playing. We'll get on the Rivian and ride. Yeah, well, when the wheels fall off and your money goes down the toilet, don't say, I didn't warn you. And this guy's smart. He's an investor. He's not a car guy particularly, but he's an investor, and he sees, hey, look out. These guys have a lot of debt. There's all kinds of stuff you don't understand. Don't throw good money after bad. Think of the poor people who bought it at $172 a share. Now it's $10. Well, a scientist now predicts that humans will go backwards in time within just 5 years. Hey, great. You could go back in time, and you could change all the bad mistakes you made. All car manufacturers go back in time and fix the stupid designs they made and put better ones in. Just think how great it would be. Okay, well, unfortunately, the guy's not talking about a time machine. What he's talking about is he thinks that the advance in science, medical science, and technology, that say you live another year, by the end of that year, they'll have figured things out better so that you can live 14 months more. So you used up 12 months, but you still got 2 months. So each year you would actually increase 2 months of your lifespan. Now, I don't know if this is ever going to come to fruition. But this guy, Ray Kurzweil, who's a former Google engineer and prominent AI-centric futurist, said that we people will achieve what he calls human longevity escape velocity by 2029. Now, let's say that does happen. Well, they're going to be 200, 300-year-old people falling apart, but they're still there. Do you really want to live that long? Of course, this is a futurist. They're full of these crazy ideas, like we're going to have flying cars, which doesn't exist yet. So I'm not holding my breath on this. I don't think I want to live forever. I mean, hey, let's face the facts. Leave room for new people to come up. That's the whole thing about people dying. If people don't die, the world would be so overpopulated, there'd be no room. If you put all the people who died over history to cover the planet, there wouldn't be any room for anybody to move. So, well, eventually it's time for us all to go. And these futurist knuckleheads who said, oh no, by 2029, we'll live forever. No, I think it's a bunch of nonsense. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, Remember to ring that bell.